go. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I don't know what happened. I don't know. But I'm back, to say the least. Good evening, everyone. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Thumbs up, thumbs up. Everyone can hear me? Thumbs up. Great. Okay, let's get started. Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday Eve. Thank you for the thumbs up. Welcome to Faith, Focus, and Finish Strong. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Tonight, we will be talking about discovering your true self. I'm going to go ahead and put everyone on mute. But I'm so excited for tonight. And tonight I have a special giveaway for one special person. So I'm going to put everyone's name in a hat. And if I draw your name, you will win something special tonight. Let's see. Let's just make sure everyone is muted. Yes. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Let me make sure the guest speakers are muted. Okay, so tonight we have a special guest, Miss Regine Bumper. Welcome, welcome to Faith, Focus, and Finish Strong. We're so excited to have you with us tonight.
Thank you.
Miss Regine is the owner of Regine Bumper LLC, whose mission is to enlighten and service the soul by spreading light and embodying love. She wrote and published her first book, I Remember the Paths Walk, that shares the lessons of travel while equipping readers with skills to becoming a better human. Regine is currently a Master of Public Health candidate at George Mason, studying public health. Woo! Regine, welcome to the show. How are you doing tonight?
Thank you. I'm doing well. I'm glad to be here with y'all.
Can you guys hear her?
Oh.
Thumbs up if you can hear her. I cannot hear her.
Oh! Okay. Hey, how about now?
I can hear you fine. I think I'm not showing my face, but I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I think most of us can hear you fine.
Okay, good. I took my headphones out, so maybe that was the issue. Okay. Marcia, can you hear me? I'm good? I think so. All right. I think that's a thumbs up. All right. So like Marcia said.
Regine?
Oh, yes. Yes, it is.
Okay.
You can hear me?
Okay, great. So you guys can hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, go ahead. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on tonight.
It's okay. It's been a day of technical difficulties. So I just want to thank Marcia for having me. Again, my name is Regine Bumper. And like Marcia said in my bio, I wrote a book called I Remember the Paths Walked, which sort of kind of stemmed the start of my self-discovery journey about 2 years back. During my senior year of undergrad, I went to Africa, and that was sort of kind of like the start of it. As far as questioning, like, my identity, who I am, where I come from. But really, the hard work really began after my final trip in undergrad to Thailand. And so I want to ask y'all, what is self-discovery? What do you guys feel self-discovery is to you?
And if you want to answer, you can just take yourself off of mute.
No right or wrong answer. Well.
Someone said realizing who you are.
Yes, Tammy, that's it. And in fact, that is the definition of self-discovery. So Merriam-Webster defines it as the active process of achieving self-knowledge, right? And so we look at what self-knowledge is. It's understanding one's own capabilities, characters, or feelings, or motivation. So yes, getting to know yourself, being comfortable with who you are, realizing who you are is exactly right. Self-discovery really holds two components: the physical, which is our own selves, knowing who we are, figuring that out. There's also a spiritual part, a component that ties along with it too. So you could think of it as both the physical definition and the spiritual definition being the active process of knowing, connecting to God, to the higher power. And so there is a direct link between the two. So we only know who we are according to what we are to God. And so who are we to God? I'm so glad y'all asked. This in itself doesn't change. And so if we refer back just a few scriptures, Ephesians 2:10, in the New Living Translation, it tells us, "For we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus, so we can do things he planned for us long ago." We look at 1 Corinthians 3:16. I'm still in NLT. You realize that you altogether are the temple of God and that the Spirit of God lives in you, right? So we are temples. This physical body is the temple, the living spaces for God to work through us. We're the living vessels for God, right? And so the beautiful thing about self-discovery really is that it's ever going. You can start 14, you can start 25, 52, 65, like it really doesn't matter, because who you are to God won't change, but the way that mission is carried out may look different for Marcia or for Tammy or for your neighbor, right? So we may have heard people say like, oh, I've been in IT for 20 years, but now I just feel like, it's just not it anymore. It's just missing something, right? So this is an example of like self-discovery, right? To realize or recognize that your purpose now lies somewhere else and to act upon it, right? And so you may say, it's not in IT, but I really feel a strong pull to teaching, right? So you're realizing that you're no longer who you used to be, and you're then following that call to where you need to be. And so in self-discovery, a byproduct of that is purpose. So you find your purpose, like why were you placed on the earth? Those tough questions, such a time as this. So really you need both the physical and the spiritual to achieve self-discovery. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry. That was great. Those scriptures were very powerful. And like you said, that doesn't change. Who God says we are, it doesn't change. Whom we belong to, it doesn't change. And so it's very important for us to understand who we are in the eyes of God. And so let me ask you, when we're taking this journey to self-discovery, what are some challenges that we might face?
Right. So self-discovery, like I said, it looks different. How it's carried out may look differently for different people, right? So like for me, not listening to God, so not being able to hear from God, relying too much on the physical, right? So I'm focusing on why I'm this way, or like why do I have body image issues, or this, that, and the third, and I'm not yielding to the spiritual, right? Or challenges such as like you're questioning, right? So this whole process, you're uncovering a new side or identity of yourself that you may not have been really all that familiar with before. So you begin to question like everything you learned before, is this really right? Things I've been taught since childhood is starting to contradict with the new truths that I'm learning about myself. And so that can make it hard to progress and move forward in your journey.
Yes, that is very powerful. And so once we have these challenges, how do we take the steps to overcome the challenges?
Mm-hmm. So the first step, and this is something I'm working on, I've been working for a long time, is to be vulnerable. And so vulnerability cannot happen alone. I know a lot of people in this time, we may hear people say like, you know, oh, I'm better off alone, you know, I'm a loner, or like, I just don't do people, you know, and we were placed on this earth to do people. Like we weren't placed here to be alone. And so being vulnerable requires connectivity. An example of this, when we were flying to Thailand, a young lady, she was so afraid because she had never flown before. And she was able to be vulnerable with the group and share, you know, like, hey, y'all, look, I'm not freaking out because I don't want to go, but I just don't know. It's just a fear of the unknown. I don't know what I'm going to expect, right? But because she was able to be vulnerable, that then allowed other people who had never flown before but hadn't said a peep, right? It was just cool, calm, and collective, to then open up. And then we were able to have this community of people who had flown before and those who had, you know, to comfort her and those others who hadn't flown before. So that's just like a small example of being vulnerable, right? And so if we want to go to the next level within ourselves, within God, our being vulnerable is crucial for that next step, our ability to open up and be real. But the key is to not just be vulnerable with everyone, because not everyone is deserving of hearing our story and our journey. So each of us has a story and has a journey that is it's impactful, it's powerful. People need to hear it, but not everybody, because not everybody values our story in the same manner, right? So as you go on, you begin to view yourself, you begin to open up greater and more easily, like I am learning right now, and your community thus grows as well. Another thing you can do is to limit comparisons and acknowledge every ounce of progression. Social media is a real big challenge, because we see people who may be in a better position than we are right now, or may look better. You know, you say they're 30, they have it going on, and I'm still living, or I'm still doing this, or I don't have that, right? So it's key to remember that your journey is your own. Like I said earlier, self-discovery may look different. It's going to look different than that of your neighbor. So this journey is your own. And we discover things about ourselves during certain seasons for different reasons at a different pace than one another, right? And so when your friend, your sister realizes her own strength in her voice or her artistry or her dance, it's important to not be envious of that discovery, right? Because it was their time to discover that, right? So if we want the same things for ourselves, then we must go back and begin to do the work so that we then can have that same moment for ourselves. And when we compare ourselves to others, we essentially are putting a limit on our own capabilities to mirror that of someone else's, right? So we are all created to do some impactful things, right? So just because your sister is doing some great things on a local level, that doesn't mean necessarily like you were meant to do the same thing. Maybe you were meant to do it, you know, at a national or state level, right? So, but by you comparing yourself to your sister, you are limiting your capabilities and what you are supposed to be doing. You're minimizing your own vision and ignoring where you are in the present. So essentially, you're basically backtracking all the forward work that you had once done. And it's like taking 5 steps forward and 10 steps back, right? And when we validate ourselves, that's so important, because we're doing the hard work, and a lot of people aren't able to do that, right? So that in itself is an accomplishment, right? And I'm guilty of this of myself. I don't necessarily, congratulate myself on even the small things, right? And so when we validate ourselves, we thus validate God and his work. So that's why it is important to do that. And a third thing to overcome is to just stop and listen. Be still. Be still long enough to hear from God. God comes through many channels. You know, for some, it may be largely physically hearing a voice of God, or physically feeling the move of God, right? God can come through people. I've asked for things in prayer, right? And I'm like, oh God, can you make this thing happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really worried about this test coming up. Like, what? I need you to give me a sign. And, I just need you guys, show me something, right? But it's like, we're so focused on actually ourselves that we end up ignoring the signs that God sends us. So like, were you really listening or taking heed to what God was telling you? You know, your homegirl just said, girl, you ain't got nothing to worry about. You didn't got A's on every test. Like, what are you worried about? Or, you know, your homegirl, like, ain't nothing for you in this town. Move, like, take that step, leap of faith, like, move. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's giving you these signs, these confirmations, but yet you haven't taken the time to just stop, be in the moment, and listen to what God is giving you at that time and receive that, and then thus going forward. Yeah.
Wow, those are all great tips on how to like take that, start taking your journey into self-discovery. I love what you said about one, not comparing yourself to others and not being envy of others, but also being very vulnerable. And I think for us as women, that's something that's really hard. It's hard for us to kind of like take the mask off. And but not only taking the mask off, but just being able to know, to knowing who can we trust with this information, who can we be vulnerable with, because there were times in everyone's life where they were vulnerable with someone and it didn't turn out well. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's very important to also, like you said, like when you pray, like be ready for the answer. You know what I'm saying? Because God talks to us in many different ways. It could be through a person. It could be through freaking the TV, the radio. It could be through many different ways God talks to us. And you just always got to be ready for the answer. You know that saying is almost like, be careful what you pray for. It's almost like don't be careful what you pray for, but be ready for what you pray for. Because at the end of the day, you have to remember that we serve a mighty God. You know, so what you had envisioned, what you had prayed for, oh, he's going to give it to you, but it's going to look totally different than what you ever envisioned, right? And I think it's like what you said earlier, what's important is, you would not believe this, but it's raining on me right now. What's important is the simple fact that self-discovery is a constant thing, because we're always changing. We're always involved. We're always going up different levels. And you know the saying, with every new level is a different devil, you know? And so we're always on this journey of, you know, trying to figure out where we are, what we're supposed to be doing. But like you said earlier, one thing never changes is who God says we are and who God is. That's never going to change. Any questions, ladies? Does anyone have any questions? Let's see if anyone wrote in the chat. No questions. Does anyone have any questions?
None at all, but that was all good wording.
Thank you. Okay, Regine, do you have any final thoughts?
Let me go back to my notes. So as you sort of kind of embark on your own journey of self-discovery, whenever that may be for you, I encourage you to, as you get started, to consider within your process of thinking about getting to know your roots and your history. And this does mean, you know, like your familial history, you know, where you come from, but also in the sense of really getting to know the life of your mom or your dad or your sister, your grandmother. And I say this because if we know where we come from, we can have a clearer sense of where we are trying to go and the person we are striving to be. And so, for example, you know, you may struggle with body image issues, but did you know that, you know, your grandmother struggled with mental health issues and perception issues, right? Years before you, or, you know, the trauma you faced, your aunt experienced the same thing. So really honing in as you begin to kind of self-evaluate where you are right now. Who am I trying to be? Do a self-evaluation, right? And then I would also encourage you to check in with God, sort of review your relationship, where you are right now. Not comparing your relationship with God to your neighbor or anybody else, just where you are right now. How do you perceive God? Because how you perceive God is a reflection of where you're at right now in your relationship with God. And if it's not the best, it's not where you want it to be, begin to repair that relationship with God. How do you do that? Ask God to reveal things through you. If you felt hurt, ask God to reveal His true self to you, right? If you felt like you've been hurt by God, ask God to show you His caring and loving ways, right? And then let God know that you're listening, that you're ready to receive, because ultimately you have to be in a position, like Marcia says, if you can't just ask for something, you have to be ready to receive it, and do a lot of listening. Self-discovery does require a lot of listening, in that sense. And the last thing is, it's never too late to start your journey. I choose every day to take a ride on it, all the twists and turns, the ups and downs. But when you do decide to embark on it, whenever that is, you've got to be willing to take God with you in order to reach that full capacity. You can reach it a certain extent with just the physical, with just doing the earthly work of reevaluating yourself. But in order to reach your fullest capacity and your purpose, is going to require God and the spiritual.
Okay, actually, I have a question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It took a while for me to think through how I wanted to phrase it. So I apologize. I had to jump off. So if you addressed it, I completely apologize. But I, like you, am also a student. And one of the things that I am realizing is that my path of forever being in school has kind of robbed me of like my hobbies and my interests outside of school. And I wanted to know how you tackled, and anyone really, balancing not making one thing the primary identifier in your life and rediscovering what you actually like. Because when people ask me, like, what do you like to do? I like draw a blank because my life is a lot of studying.
Right. So I don't know if you felt this because you are a student, but I tend to easily get tied up in my schoolwork. Like if I got an assignment due and it's just like I want to cram it through, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like the whole day ends up being that one thing. And so something that I'm really trying to master is taking the time for me. And so I would encourage you, even if it's just 5 minutes, to step away from your schoolwork. And that could be taking a walk or closing your eyes for 5 minutes, or going in the kitchen and be like, you know what? I got peanut butter and I got some sugar. Like, what can I make with peanut butter and sugar? Trying something new, just as a start, because that is what I've been struggling for some time, this second semester of grad school. But then I would also encourage you to, in those times you step away, the more you do it, the longer periods become. Just start thinking of things or trying things that you like. I didn't even know I liked to cook until like last week and Mother's Day week. And so even though I didn't necessarily, that wasn't something I was like, oh, I'm going to cook for my mom because I love it. I wanted to do it because I wanted to try something, for her, but I end up actually kind of liking it. And so pushing yourself to those boundaries. And it's more of a mental thing, because physically, you could tell yourself like, you need to use the bathroom. I'm going to go up and use the bathroom. But you can really work on focusing on the mental, telling yourself, okay, what is it about me that I want to work on, or that I want to focus on or expand upon within myself. So really shifting that mental focus from others, because when we do our work, it's really about others, the teacher's assignment, and shifting it to more about us. Mm-hmm. And that might be a struggle for a lot of women, putting ourselves first.
Yeah. I definitely don't think it's a school. I think I could very easily see that being done in like a career or anything, motherhood, whatever it may be. But thank you for those recommendations.
Oh, you're welcome, Margaret.
Regine, it's something that you said that was really it brought something to my mind, and you said we should find out about our history, so about our grandparents, our aunts, our ancestors. And I think when you say that, I think also we should be honest and open to the generation that comes after us about our journey, our journey to self-discovery, all the things that we went through. It's almost like, they always say, especially in our community, they say what happens in this house stays in this house. But that's not always a good thing. So many kids, so many women spend all their life walking around in silence, not healing from the drama they experience in their lives because they feel like they can't tell anyone that, like they said, what happens in this house stays in this house. And I think it's important for us to share with the younger generation and be honest with them, because when we're honest with them, we help them along their journey. We help them to feel like they have a safe place, that they're not the only one going through, certain things. I know for sure that when people are going through things and you're breaking through generational curses, that it's power in someone walking in a generational curse for just a little bit, because the power is when they experience it, they're able to understand what they're breaking from, So there's power, there's relief in there to know that there is a God and that they're able to break through what their grandmother wasn't able to break through, what their aunt wasn't able to break through, what their mother wasn't able to break through. But as parents, as mothers, aunts, grandparents, whatever it may be, we have to be open and honest with the younger generation about our journey and the things that we face.
Absolutely.
Because someone else's truth is your truth. Someone else, your story is someone else's deliverance. We could prevent a lot of people, a lot of women from going through a lot of stuff if we just open our mouth.
Absolutely. And the things that we experience right today, they may not exactly be that of our grandparents or our mom or dad, but it indirectly, in some cases directly, affects us today. And like you said, there's power in experiencing generational curses, even if it's just for a little bit, because that when you get that breakthrough, that makes it that much more, the magnitude of that breakthrough is that much more greater.
Yeah, because I know for even myself, it's like you wonder why you are a certain way or why you think a certain way or where you get certain passions and stuff from. And you're like, wow, I don't see anyone else in my family doing this. Oh, I see everyone in my family, they're always happy and, blah, 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 blah. But you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And you're thinking it's something wrong with you because you're out and you're putting a smile on your face and you're happy. But then when you're at home, you're hurting inside and you're battling all of these things on your own. And the problem is you're not supposed to be doing this thing called life on your own. There's no such thing as the strength is opening your mouth. That's strength. That's showing that you're a strong woman, not by being silent, not by pushing stuff under the rug, not by, not sharing yourself and showing people that you're vulnerable. That's actually a weakness. So when you're able to sit there and open and say, I'm feeling this way, I don't like myself, or, this happened to me, that's showing your strength and being open to share that part of you with other women is powerful, because sometimes we go in life and we're just we're the only person dealing with this. I can't break through. And like you said, we're looking at other women who are winning that we consider, we're like, oh man, they're winning in life. And I'm over here struggling, not knowing that they went through the same stuff that you're going through, and it doesn't matter what you're going through because there's purpose. See, there's purpose in the shaking, and there's purpose in the suffering, right? There's purpose in all of that, because if you think about it, what we are going through, if we would have never went through it, we wouldn't be who we are today. We wouldn't have the strength that we have today. We wouldn't have the skills that we have today. We wouldn't have the vulnerability that we have today, right? And so everything that you're going through, don't ever regret it. Just look and be like, okay, what's the purpose of this? Like, why am I facing this? Because I promise you, you're going to be walking and talking to someone and they're going to open their mouth and you're going to be like, oh God, this is why. Because you was going to place this person in my life. In order for me to be able to show up for that divine appointment, I had to go through what I went through, right? So I can help this young girl. I can help this person with what they're going through. I can be understanding to them. You know, my heart is soft for them because of what I went through. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? And those things happen for us. So we know that we can't do this all alone, that we have to lean on God, that the only way that we can get through certain things in life is Him. Nothing. I don't care, no therapy, no amount of money, no job, no education. Nothing can help you do this thing called life but God. Right? So I'm gonna sit down because I'm getting a little. I'm getting a little, I mean, like, ooh.
Get it out. Get it out. Get it out.
You know, because, like, it's just, like, what I just had to go through just now, like, me being on this call tonight and like what I said, like, having all those technical difficulties, like, I couldn't get anything to work. Then I'm sitting outside, and then it just starts pouring down on me, right? And it just takes me back to everything that I ever went through in life. Like, it's always you're walking this path and like everything is going good, and then boom,
always something
happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then boom, something else happens. And so at that moment you have a decision to make, and it's like, okay, do I give up now? Because everything is happening. So it's making you think that you should give up, right? That you're not equipped, right? That you're not enough, right? That you don't have what it takes, right? But see, at the end of the day, if you didn't have what it takes, if you wasn't enough, you wouldn't have even made it that far. And so all you got to do is keep going, because the enemy wants you to think that you're not equipped, that you wasn't enough. But you have to remember, like you said, who is God? Wait a minute. Who is this person called God? You know, God is the beginning and the end, right? God is strong and mighty. You know, God is the one who called you by your name before you were born in your mother's womb. God created you in His image. You know, God is God, and nothing and no one can change the plans that God has for you. And so if you continue to put your trust in God, and you can keep taking it one step by step. I don't even care if you take a half an inch of a step. If you keep moving, God's going to keep showing up. If you keep moving, God's going to keep showing up. You keep calling on His name, He's going to keep showing up. And guess what? That doesn't mean that the enemy going to stop. That doesn't mean that the thoughts are going to stop. That doesn't mean that all the problems going to stop, because guess what? As you're getting closer, the enemy, he's coming after you stronger and stronger. But then you have to remind the enemy, my God, only God, but God. And every time that you're able to call on God's name and He gets the glory, whoo, the enemy gets mad. But you can defeat, just like Jesus, He defeated all of this when He died on the cross for all of us. We already have the victory. Wait a minute. So you're stepping, but you already have the victory. You're already a winner. And all you got to do is keep stepping and going and going. So I say all of that to say that I don't care what they said about you. I don't care who didn't love you, who's not supporting you, who never showed up for you. I don't care if you didn't get that job. I don't care if they say you wasn't qualified, because ears have not heard, eyes have not seen what God has for you. So you keep showing up. I don't care if you have to show up crawling. I don't care if you have to show up in tears. I don't care how you show up, but you keep showing up, because it doesn't matter. Somebody else is waiting for you to show up. They're waiting for you to call on their name. They're waiting for you to speak life into them. You keep showing up, because God has mighty plans for each and every one of you. And you're not doing this walk alone. And that's the main reason why I created this talk, because we're not on this journey alone. We're here. Guess what? We're stronger together, and together we will always win. I'm done. I'm done.
Mic drop. Pick up collection. Wow.
Can you give the scripture for tonight, please? I don't have my notes right now. Lady, she's gonna give you the scripture that we need to all meditate on for this week.
Right, 1 second. Oh, she frozen again? Oh no. Okay.
It was Ephesians.
Ephesians 5:8. I'm reading out the New Living Translation, and it says, "For once you were full of darkness, but now you have light from the Lord. So live as people of light." And I think that really speaks to what Marcia just said. Wraps that up beautifully. Much in alignment.
Okay, ladies. So we're gonna give away something before we go into prayer. I do want to take the time to thank you all for being so patient. Tonight has been like no other night with all the technical difficulties, but we're still gonna make it through. So let me make sure that I have everyone. I want to make sure no one that, we had a couple of people who came on recently. Regine, so can you tell them what we're giving away tonight?
Alrighty, I'll tell them about the prize there. One of these people is about to win. So we are raffling off a copy of my book, I Remember the Paths Walked. It's about my travels, but not just, like, I went to this little temple, it's cool, and that third. But really, it's going to equip you, like she had said earlier in the bio, with the tools to be a better human. So travel makes you different, makes you better. And what better time to travel right now? Well, we can't, but through a book, right? So you'll be taking a journey to Uganda, Rwanda, Haiti, and Thailand. You'll see some cool pictures, but you'll also have, my favorite part, a journal section in the back where you can jot down any notes or thoughts that come to you, enlightenments, visions, all of that. So that's what we'll be giving away.
And the shirt. We're also
Yes.
giving away a shirt. She has a shirt as well, and that we're going to give it away. So whoever is the winner, I wrote down everyone's name, and I'm going to pick a winner, and I will reach out to you individually to get your shirt size and get your address, and we're going to mail it to you. I just want to let you guys know that it's important for us to support each other and for us to continue to stand together and continue to speak life into each other. You never know what the next person is going through. You never know what the next person is facing. So simply giving someone a smile or saying hello, or randomly sending someone a text to be like, "Hey boo, I'm thinking about you. Hey boo, how you doing? Hey boo, I'm praying for you." And to be able to look past those, when you ask someone, "How are you doing?" Look past those, "I'm okay." "Oh, I'm great." Go further, and just be the ear that someone needs, be the voice that someone needs. And so let's see who's going to be the lucky winner tonight. So I'm going to show you guys. I don't want you to think that I'm showing favoritism or anything to anyone. So I have all the names here, my makeshift bucket. And let's see who the lucky winner is. Okay, this is our lucky winner, TH. TH, you are our lucky winner. Tammy, that's you? Tammy Howard. Okay, great. Tammy, if you could give me your email address in the chat, that way I know how to reach out to you, that would be great. Sorry, I'm still showing you guys my house. Okay, cool. Taking you guys on the tour, my bad. Didn't mean to do that. Also, I wanted to bring my girlfriend on. She has a workshop tomorrow. If we have any first-time home buyers, anyone looking to buy a home in the near future, I wanted her to be able to come on and share the information with you guys. And I'm going to include her email address on the, I'm going to send an email out with her email address if you guys want to join the webinar tomorrow. Martha, are you still on?
Of course I am. Thank you so much for shouting me out. Good evening, everyone. Don't mind me. This is the After Hours Martha. But as Marcia mentioned, we are having a free live webinar where it's going to be myself. I'm a real estate agent who's been in the industry for now 16 years. I have a lender that's going to be online as well as a home insurance. Our goal is just to simply educate. We're going to be sharing some highlights about pretty much identifying ways of how one can purchase. There's just so many common myths out here and things that's being portrayed in terms of how hard it is and or, you know, just things of how it is about purchasing real estate. So we're hoping that this free 2-hour webinar that's being offered to the public will be able to help someone get in line with eventually being able to achieve just that. Rather if it's purchasing a property for themselves or possibly people are now thinking about becoming investors, rather it's purchasing properties just so they can go ahead and start renting them out. So we're going to be talking about those specifics tomorrow, getting you in line with just finding that path. So then rather it's now, rather it's in the next year, you'll be able to achieve just that. So we do hope that you guys can log in tomorrow. I appreciate the feedback. I see that someone was there. Thank you so much for that. Be sure to reach out to Marcia and Marcia will be able to send you the link. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow and feel free to spread the word, okay?
Yes, thank you, Martha. Martha, if you could just go ahead and put maybe a way that they can contact you.
Absolutely.
Or like you're in the chat, that way they can write it down.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to just drop my business line down, which is my direct line. It's 240-848-5138. If you were to send me a text, then I'll just send you the link for tomorrow. And again, this is Martha, and that's 240-848-5138. Thank you again, Marcia, for shouting me out.
No, most definitely. And she has some other amazing webinars coming up. Like if you're looking to buy your first investment property, if you're looking to buy your second investment property, she has a lot of great webinars coming up. Martha is a great resource for everything real estate. And she's such a humble individual. So definitely, if you are looking to purchase a home, or maybe you know someone, or maybe you know someone who, or maybe you're a person who never thought that you could purchase a home, send the information out because you never know what can help someone else. Maybe it's not helpful to you, but it can definitely be helpful to someone else. So don't be selfish with the information. Send it out to everybody you know. And do we have Crystal? Is Crystal Gallandet on the line?
Yes, I am. I do have the family in the background, but hi, everyone.
Okay, guys. So this Crystal, she has a mom talk that she does once a month, and she's having her next mom talk next Wednesday. And it's Let's Talk About Sex, baby. Let's talk about you. Anyway, Crystal, can you tell us a little bit about what's going on next week?
Yes. Hi, everyone. So with my mom talk, as she mentioned, I have it once a month. And next week, I'm having Reba the Diva. She's a sex therapist or sex consultant. And we're going to be talking about sex in regards to talking to your spouse about sex and also sex after baby. And just people can submit questions to me for her if you have any questions. But to RSVP for that, I'll put it in the chat, but it's www.supportunlimitedforlife.com. And I look forward to people joining if they would like to.
Yes, and I would also like to shout out Crystal. She is an author as well, and she's about to release her first book. You can get the book now through pre-order. And Crystal, can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Sure. So my book is called How to Get a College Degree for Free. I actually have 3 of my college degrees. Actually, well, not 3 of. I have 3 college degrees for free, 1 undergrad and 2 graduate degrees, and I have various funding sources. So in my book, I share my journey on how I did that, in addition to actionable steps for other people to do it as well. So I had my book launch celebration on May 2nd. We're in pre-launch, and those who obtain a book now will get a hard signed copy of the book. And I could put the webpage to get that in there now as well. And it's basically the title, How to Get a College Degree for Free.com.
Yes, great job, Crystal. Congratulations. And so, ladies, her book is definitely something that I know, someone that can benefit from, whether they are going to college, whether they're thinking about going back to college, whether you are thinking about going back to college. We all want to go to school for free 99 because nobody wants to be paying student loans the rest of their lives. So definitely cop that book for her, for you or someone else that you may know that could benefit from it. Thank you, Crystal, and thank you, Martha. So we're going to go ahead and start closing out. Oh, before I end, my nonprofit, Born to Love, is actually doing a food drive. So if you know anyone that's in need of food, please send me an email, send me a text, because we're going to be delivering food in the next couple of weeks. And if anyone wants to donate any non-perishable food items or wants to send a financial donation, please reach out to me. Everything is 100% tax deductible, so you can write it off on your taxes. But we will be trying to feed 30 families for the next 30 days. Let's go ahead and end in prayer. Want to thank Regine again for coming on and sharing with us about discovering your true self. It was very amazing. And next week, sorry guys, I don't even know what we're talking about next week. My mind is just all over the place right now, but you'll get an email with the topic and the special guest for next week. I just want to thank you guys again for always being very supportive and always being very patient and understanding with me. This definitely has been a journey, but regardless of the journey, like I said, I'm going to keep showing up. I don't care how hard it gets. I'm going to keep showing up. And so I challenge you to continue to keep showing up as well, because someone out there needs you. And let's remember that our story is not our story. Our story is for His glory and for somebody else's deliverance. So please join me as I end us in prayer. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight, oh God. God, we come to you tonight. We come boldly to your throne, oh God, with grateful hearts, just to thank you for giving us another day. Thank you for giving us another opportunity to come together to talk, God. Thank you for allowing us to be able to come back each and every week with such great and powerful speakers that are able to pour into us and help us along this journey, that no matter what we face, God, that we're able to continue to do the inner work that we need to do so we can be able to continue to use our gifts that you gave us to walk in our purpose. God, tonight we learned about discovering your true self. God, we learned that we have to find out who we are in you. We have to understand who you are, and we have to embrace and accept that, and that you never change. What you say about us, what you think about us never change. That no matter what we face on the journey, that we can continue to trust and believe in you. That we know that the journey is not going to be easy, and the journey is going to come with a lot of obstacles, a lot of speed bumps, a lot of stop signs, God, a lot of detours. But if we continue to keep our eyes on you, that we will be able to reach our destination. God, we ask for your covering. We ask for your love. We ask for your hope. God, I just lift all these women on the call up to you tonight. God, you know their needs. You know their hearts. I just ask that you just speak to them in a mighty way, God. God, may your voice be so loud that they don't have to question, is it you, God? May your voice be so loud that it removes all the distractions that they may be hearing, that it silences all the inner thoughts that are negative, the inner thoughts that are paralyzing them. I just ask that your voice be so loud, God. I ask that you remove the enemy grip off of anyone on this call or anyone in their family that may be facing struggles right now. God, may you just remove his grip, and I ask that you come against any attack, God, any plot or any scheme that the enemy may have on anyone on this call lives or their family lives, may you show up in mighty ways, God, because we know that you are a God of your word, that you are strong and mighty, that you are a miracle worker, that you are a promise keeper, and that you are our light in our darkness, God. Tonight, I come against generational curses, God. I come against chains, oh God. I come against strongholds, oh God. I just ask that you remove them, oh God, so we can be able to walk in our purpose, so that we can be able to reach that destination. So when that day comes, God, we just look forward to you saying, well done, my good and faithful servant, God, that no matter what we face, no matter who we face, that we can continue to lean on you and only hear your voice, God. I just lift all of these women up to you. I just ask that I lift this Zoom talk up to you, that we can continue to be strong, that we continue to show up each and every week, that you will continue to enlarge our territory and extend our reach, God, because we're ready and we're going into the enemy territory and we're not getting out and we're taking everything, God. We're taking back everything that was ours from the beginning, and we're not stopping, God, till we finish, God. We just lift you up. We trust in you. We believe in you, God. We seek, we pray, we ask. Amen. In the name of Jesus, amen. Ladies, thank you guys for joining tonight. Thank you for joining. Regine, thank you. I will be following up with Tammy to get your information for sending you the book.
Yes.
Oh, there go the shirt. Yes, y'all, look at the shirt. It's so beautiful.
In the back, a little elephant, you know.
Yes.
Thank you, Marcia. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night, everyone. See you next week. Don't forget, bring 3 friends. And don't forget about Martha's webinar tomorrow and Crystal's Zoom Mom Talk next Wednesday. Let's talk about sex. Hey.
Thank you, Marcia. Take care,
Good
everyone.
night. Good night, Marcia. Good night.
Bye.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.